Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Have you been feeling this creeping exhaustion lately? And I don't mean the kind of tired you can fix by just sleeping in on a Saturday. I'm talking about a deep, structural fatigue. That heavy feeling where it almost seems like the life you're living actually belongs to someone else entirely. Well, that is exactly what we're unpacking today as we look at navigating your psychological shift.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you recently woken up feeling a bizarre, detached emptiness? I really want you to pause and just reflect on that for a moment. Are the relationships that used to feel absolutely essential suddenly feeling more like outgrown costumes? Or maybe those goals you've been chasing so desperately for years are starting to seem completely hollow. It's kind of like you've been sprinting toward a destination only to realize it wasn't even yours to begin with.
Section 1. The unseen psychological pressure, when the ground stops feeling solid.
So, if you're experiencing this right now, first of all, I really want to validate that internal distress you're feeling. Because, usually there isn't one single dramatic event you can point your finger at. There's no massive explosion in your life. Instead, it's just this relentless, quiet pressure building up inside you. It's that unmistakable feeling that something enormous is trying to surface, but it just hasn't broken through quite yet. Now, society is super quick to slap a label on this quiet pressure. They'll tell you you're having a midlife crisis, or that you're depressed, or that something inside you is fundamentally broken. But the legendary psychologist Carl Jung, he saw it completely differently. He viewed this not as a breakdown, but as a massive, vital psychological reorganization. In fact, he saw it as the absolute most important transformative process a human being can undergo.
Section 2. Jung and the Hidden Earthquake. Transformation beneath the surface.
Jung figured out that the human psyche doesn't just change in these neat, incremental little baby steps. Nope. It accumulates immense tension in total silence. It completely reorganizes itself underground, entirely beneath your conscious awareness, right before erupting into a sudden, reality-dismantling transformation. And the core mechanism driving this sudden shift is what Jung called Enantiodromia. It's an ancient Greek concept which basically states that when a psychological phenomenon reaches its extreme limit, it inevitably transforms into its absolute opposite. This perfectly explains why a deeply accommodating person, someone who has spent their whole life bending over backward for everyone else, suddenly wakes up one day and absolutely cannot tolerate one single solitary demand.
The pendulum swung way too far, and now it violently swings back. Think of it like a heavy brass pendulum on a massive grandfather clock. Imagine pulling it as far to one side as it can possibly go, just holding it there in this state of unbearable tension. When you finally let go, it doesn't just float peacefully back to the middle, right? No, it violently accelerates in the completely opposite direction. Your conscious personality wandered way too far in one direction, becoming way too rigid, and now it is violently snapping back.
Jung noted that during this time, immense pressure is accumulating along fault lines no one can see. He loved using the metaphor of tectonic plates shifting deep beneath the Earth's surface. On the outside, your life probably looks perfectly stable to everyone else, but every single time you silence your own instincts just because it was inconvenient, or every time you plastered on a fake mask just to keep other people comfortable, you were slowly, quietly creating these dangerous psychological cracks. So the preparation for this kind of earthquake, it happens entirely in the dark.
And when that earthquake finally hits, people naturally panic. And because they panic, they tend to make one of two catastrophic mistakes. Mistake number 1, gripping harder. You try to force everything back to normal, blindly recommitting to a dying relationship or maybe a totally suffocating career. Then there's mistake number 2, impulsively blowing up your life. This is where you just act out in a rage, burning bridges and making dramatic ultimatums. But here's the problem with both of these approaches. If you just act out the change externally, the real internal shift never actually happens. Give it a year, and I guarantee you'll just rebuild the exact same prison in a completely new setting.
So the stark reality is this. You don't need a $40 lavender bath bomb. You need a psychological hazmat suit. I mean, think about the absolute irony of our modern wellness culture for a second. When the literal tectonic plates of your soul start shifting, society just hands you a meditation app and tells you to think positive. Come on, you cannot fix a profound structural collapse of the ego with a bubble bath and a spa day. The old version of you is literally being dismantled.
Section 3. 3 Signs of Reorganization. Navigating through conscious suffering.
So the crucial point is, to actually survive this sudden change, Jung argued that you have to engage in what he called conscious suffering. That means staying present in that deeply uncomfortable space between who you were and who you're becoming. You have to just sit in that tension and cooperate with the earthquake rather than demanding the process hurry up and finish. And to help you cooperate with this shift, here is a sort of survival checklist of 3 undeniable signs that your unconscious is reorganizing itself. Step 1 is a loss of meaning. Step 2 is intensifying dreams, and step 3 is a collapse of tolerance. Let's break each of these down so you know exactly what to look out for on your own journey.
Starting with number 1, loss of meaning. This is when the things that used to matter to you, they just simply stop mattering. You might look around at all your achievements and just feel this strange, detached emptiness. But Jung explained that your meaning isn't actually being destroyed here. Actually, scratch that. It's more like your psyche's just temporarily withdrawing its energy. It's pulling that energy away from your old life and reallocating it, quietly gathering all the essential resources you're going to need for the massive shift ahead.
Moving on to number 2, intensifying dreams. You might start having these incredibly vivid, deeply disturbing dreams of natural disasters. Things like massive bodies of water completely flooding the landscape. Or maybe you find yourself wandering endlessly through unfamiliar houses. This isn't just random brain static. This is your unconscious loudly signaling to you that your inner world is actively restructuring itself.
And finally, number 3, the collapse of tolerance. This is when you suddenly, absolutely cannot stand the things you've been politely enduring for years. You know that relationship where you always shrank yourself to avoid conflict? Or that job where you had to fake enthusiasm every single morning? Yeah, those become totally unbearable literally overnight. Your unconscious has basically done the math and realized that the cost of maintaining your false masks now greatly exceeds the cost of just disrupting them.
I actually want to pause right here and ask you directly. Which of these 3 signs is screaming the loudest in your life today? Is it that complete loss of meaning? Is it those intense, chaotic dreams? Or is it the sudden, absolute collapse of your tolerance for fake situations? I really want you to claim your truth in the comments below right now. Naming the symptom is the absolutely crucial first step to actually owning your transformation.
Section 4. Let the old self die. The beginning of who you are meant to become.
We really need to completely reframe this terrifying experience. This isn't the universe punishing you, not at all. It's actually a positive badge of readiness. Your psyche has decided that you have finally accumulated enough experience to survive the crossing from the person you pretended to be to the person you actually are. We're going to close out this explainer with an incredibly powerful call to action. Stop white-knuckling the identity you have outgrown. Your only job right now is to stop forcing your life back to normal. You have to find the courage to stand undefended while the change moves through you, just letting it dismantle exactly what needs to be dismantled. Because ultimately, the end of who you thought you were is simply the beginning of who you were meant to become all along. So are you finally ready to let go?